Be careful who you follow. The blogs you read, the podcasts you listen to, the messages you watch. Be careful who you follow. They may not be leading you to be more like Christ. As a rule of thumb, I can pretty much say it. If they're leading you in hysteria and not holiness, they are not leading you the right way. If there are people you are listening to right now who are working up a hysteria in you, don't listen. Be warned. They may not be leading you to be more like Christ. You know, one of the good things when, I can't believe I'm saying this, when you get to be my age, by God's grace, I've been a pastor. I was an assistant youth pastor in a church for 4 years while I finished seminary. And then I think it's been about 31 years that I've been a preaching pastor like this. So that's 35 years. That's starting to be a little bit of time, wouldn't you say? I've seen hysterias come and go. I remember when I was a young youth pastor at this church. Deb and I were just married. We'd just been married a couple months, and I started as a youth pastor of this church. And in 1988, there was a book that came out, and probably every pastor in America got this book. It said, 88 Reasons Jesus Will Come Again in 88. Oh, I tell you, there was a hysteria about that book. I remember our pastor, the pastor of our church, got a hard time from some people in the church because he would not join in the hysteria. There were a couple families that left the church because he would not get hysterical about 88 Reasons Jesus Will Come Again in 1988. There was a revision to that book, 89 Reasons, I kid you not, 89 Reasons Jesus Will Come Again in 89. There was a third edition. You're ahead of me, aren't you? 90 Reasons Jesus Will Come Again in 1990. I don't know how many editions there were, but there was a certain amount of hysteria with each one. They come and go. Oh, you remember the end of the world, don't you? It was called Y2K. Oh yeah, you remember that one, don't you? Remember you stocked your basement full of food and water? I shouldn't make fun of you. Maybe you did that. I don't know, but you remember you did that? I know a guy, I'm not kidding you, I know a guy that got an AK-47 as well because he was going to protect his food. Once his foolish neighbors found out that the end of the world had come and they didn't have food, I don't know, I guess all that stuff about loving your neighbor, all that stuff about turning the other cheek, all that stuff about going the extra mile, that's all out the door, man, if it's you and your food. We're still here, aren't we? A lot of hysteria with that. A lot of books written, a lot of books sold, a lot of people all wound up. It's the end of the age, end of the world. And now we have the COVID-19 pandemic vaccine. It's the mark of the beast. They're going to put a chip in they're going to track you everywhere you go. Put a chip in you. All this hysteria. It's the end time. The mark of the beast is not the mark of the beast. Now, I can't tell you everything that it is. I'm not a scientist, but I do know this. It's not the mark of the beast. And there is a hysteria around that. And John would tell us the reason he's writing these things about the appearing of Jesus in these last days is to produce holiness in the people of God, not hysteria. Holiness. Listen, whether you decide to get the vaccine or not, I give you that freedom to decide. But I'm telling you this, it's not the mark of the beast. So I said in that video I did a few weeks ago that if our eschatology is right, I believe it is right, and Daniel will talk about this a little bit anyway toward the end of it. The mark of the beast is connected to the revealing of the Antichrist, and the Antichrist is revealed after the church is taken from this world. The Antichrist is revealed, and after that time then there's a mark of the beast that only those who have rejected God will get. That's why they're getting it, because they're choosing to worship the beast. And it will be in their right hand or in their forehead. And so I've just been telling people this. Look, if you're going to get the vaccine and you're sitting there and you realize you haven't seen anyone in the church for several years, and you've been thinking about becoming a devil worshiper anyway, and they're about to stick it in your forehead, you may want to think twice. Short of that, it is not the mark of the beast. God does not want his people to live in hysteria. There's a third way here, because I realize on the one hand, I do think some people will listen to this and they'll say, that's right, all of this end time stuff and all of this, it doesn't, just chill out, don't worry about it, it's really nothing. And almost to the point where they start to belittle the appearing. They start to belittle the fact that Jesus said he could come at any moment. And then on the other side, there's the panic, even among those who profess Christ, the panic, the hysteria. There's a middle way. And that middle way is we long for that appearing of Jesus Christ. And in the meanwhile, we pursue holiness. We want to be more like him in his beauty and holiness and goodness. So be careful who you follow. They may not be leading you to be more like Christ.